Good morning, God bless you this morning. Hope and praise is all well. Just something I was reading this morning. I come into here as usual to have my time in prayer in our garage, and I started to think about things. And I just opened on my phone. I have an app, and on that app a passage of scripture come up, and it was Psalms 55 and verse 22. And I just started to focus on it and look at it a minute. And do you know, sometimes we can read something sometimes and we can miss the point of it. And I started to look at this, and it says this, Psalms 55 and verse 22, it says, "Cast your cares on the Lord, and he will sustain you. He will never let the righteous fall." That strengthened me this morning. It blessed me heart to hear that this morning. But I started to focus the words, and it's cast, as in to cast as a fish. You know, when you cast a line out, cast your cares on the Lord, and he will sustain you. We have to give our cares over to the Lord, because me and you's not capable enough to handle them on our own. But what I started to look at was the word in verse 22, and it's the word sustain. We listen to words sometimes, and sometimes we think them words and that mean one thing, but when you start to look at them back over biblically, you start to see what them words really mean. And I looked up a dictionary this morning for the word sustain, and the word sustains mean like a sustaining beam. If you look behind my head here, you see some steel frames holding this garage roof up, and they sustain this roof from collapsing. If you see an oak beam or anything at all like that in an old house, it's that them trusses, them beams is there to sustain that property, to hold it in place, to stop it from collapsing. Let me read that again to you. Cast your cares on the Lord, and he will sustain you. This morning, the person that's over me and you is not a steel beam, not an oak beam. It's the Lord. And it says, cast your anxiety on him. Cast your cares on him. You know, I don't know about you, but I have cares this morning. And sometimes if I let them cares come and too much pressure, and it's like anything, you put too much weight on any roof and it will collapse, it will come in over. This morning, if I can give you any advice this morning, cast your cares on him this morning. You know, it says that he upholds the righteous. That's those who's in right standing with him. You know, we're not super holy this morning. We're Christians that love the Lord this morning and just want to serve him, you know, with all our heart, and tell others about him and tell others about his love. Do you know what it says to me here? It says, cast your anxieties on the Lord, and he will sustain you. The word sustain there means to hold up and hold together. I can't hold together without the Lord in my life. I need him each and every day. And if I could give you some advice this morning, maybe you're strong. You know, maybe you're one of them Christians that gets up every morning and everything just like a butterfly sails out the door. Well, I'm not. I'm one of those that struggles on the morning. I struggle to read. I struggle to study. This morning, if I can give you this advice this morning, just cast your cares upon the Lord this morning. If you're weak, if you're one of them that's weak this morning, and he will never let you fall. You know, nothing's going to come in on us and that. Nothing's going to take it, because I'll tell you who is over us this morning. Like these steel beams, they're pretty strong. You know, we have a Lord who's a lot stronger than a beam or a piece of metal or a piece of wood or anything. He's over our hall today. He knows exactly what's going to happen today. He knows what tomorrow's going to take place. This morning, maybe you're a little bit down this morning. Maybe you're a little bit weak this morning. That doesn't mean to say you failed this morning. A beam can be weak, a beam can be bent, but it doesn't mean to say it's failed. Do you know, this morning, if I can give you some advice this morning, just cast your cares to him this morning. Talk to him this morning. Share your thoughts with him today. Put everything before him today. Not just yourself and your family, which is right and true to do, but put everything before him today. Whatever you do today, lay before his feet today. And do it all for the glory of God. And just know this morning, and I want you just to listen to this once again. I know I've read it a couple of times, but it says, cast your cares on the Lord, and he will sustain you. He will never let the righteous fall. Never. Never. Hold on in there. Keep close to him. I pray you is all well. God bless each and every one of you. Have a good day in the Lord.